Franchise report. Reporting live.
Yes, sir. Franchise in this building. Franchise reporting effect on another mother effing day. Lovely Leticia in the building. Hot in the ride here. And special guest entrepreneur in the building today, Bobby Nuggz. What up?
What's up, fam? Proud to be here.
You proud to be here?
I am. I'm a long-time listener.
Okay.
Appreciate it, family. Appreciate it,
Being
family.
in the studio today, it's just, I feel like everything kind of coming full circle for me right now. You know what I mean?
All right, Bobby
Oh,
Nuggz.
yeah, respect.
So put us on to what's in the bag. Nah, put us on to what you do first, then let's get to what's in the bag.
So, I mean, everybody knows me as Bobby Nuggz. That's a moniker I used to go by and still go by to this day. I kind of started as a pen name back in like 08, 09 when I first started in the weed game. You know, I wanted like a secret name to go by instead of, you know, put my real face.
Bobby,
name
your real
there.
name?
Yeah, Bobby's my real name.
So how much hiding was you trying to do?
A lot. At the time when I first started this, like, you know, everybody could get arrested just for having an ounce on you. You know what I mean? Good on the flower. But yeah, it's back then. It's just so much has changed from then till now. I've gotten to kind of watch the industry take form over the last 15 years here in New England, and I've kind of helped, you know, head, you know, the forefront of the cannabis movement kind of here in New England over the last 15 years. And
So,
dedicated my entire life to this shit.
Last 15 years, you've been fighting to get weed legal.
Yeah, man. And
now, how does it feel to drive down I-95 and see a big ass sign that says "drive-through weed" right here? How does it feel? Like, is it still like this is really happening?
yeah, it's a trip. You know, I'm every day kind of emotional that I get to still be a part of this after so long, and somehow still find relevance and the community support me. And now to see things grow like they have, it's just crazy. And driving on the highway, seeing these billboards of local brands that I respect, you know, I personally purchase from, you know, and they got some fires. It's hype, you know, and there's a lot of everybody in the state growing weed. They're putting their heart and soul into it, and everybody's got some bomb weed. I travel the world to do this. Spain, Hawaii. In the last 4 years, I've judged cannabis cups from Barcelona to Hawaii, LA, Colorado, down to Miami. So this is like, I really do this shit, you know.
What do you do more? What do you do more? Smoke weed or eat food?
I'm a dabber. That's like my thing. I don't do the infused
So you get high more than you eat food?
All day.
No, literally like real food.
No. You know, cannabis. I was one of the first like 10,000 cannabis patients in Rhode Island, and I got it for severe nausea and having stomach problems. So for me, you know, cannabis still helps me, you know, with my appetite every day. You know what I mean? It stimulates my appetite. It's a better way of life for me. Kind of saved my life too. I had a lot of mental health problems and substance abuse at a young age. Came from a very broken home, came from the streets, and just experienced a lot of shit that my friends didn't experience. And when I found cannabis, it kind of opened my mind and opened endless amounts of doors and opportunity for me. And here we are now, you know?
Super dope.
And you didn't try anything else, right?
Everything.
You tried everything?
Everything, yeah.
So when they say weed is a gateway drug, so you tried
You know, I believe that weed is a gateway drug, but I also believe cannabis is the biggest exit drug. And, you know, for me and many of my friends that I know, I wasn't into opiates or none of that. But, you know, a lot of other substances I did abuse when I was younger. But for a lot of my friends nowadays, the Suboxone, the methadone, the cannabis, and the dabs have helped a ton of my friends get actually clean. So there's true medicine to this. You know, we're Schedule 3, right? So that's new. And that means they actually found true medicinal value for it, which has been argued over the last decade and a half. You know, with all these cancer patients and just doing the research. Now it's accepted medical use, and I think we forget now that it's legalized that there are a lot of people who suffer ailments on a daily basis that cannabis truly helps them live a better way of life, you know what I mean?
Listen, I have never seen so many weed smokers since I've seen cannabis shops. Like every time I go to a event that we have at one of the cannabis shops up in Holyoke, the people that walk through, I'm like, that motherfucker smokes weed.
Yeah. Shout out Days, all those homies up in Holyoke. I love Holyoke. It's like, Holyoke cannabis culture, like they're friendly to weed up in Holyoke.
Yeah.
It's like Worcester. Rhode Island needs to pay attention to like the inner city, I think, with some of these cannabis regulations and laws, because, you know, when the inner city gets behind it, things can really thrive and it brings the community up in so many ways. It's not just benefiting the dispensaries, you know, the stores, the local stores, everybody's kind of feeding from the pie.
Because people get munchies.
Hell yeah.
People get the munchies and they hit that corner store.
So when you said that you helped develop this, what do you mean you helped develop? Like, what was your part in it?
So I'm a cannabis activist. I call myself a cannabis rights activist. Back in, 2010, 2011, I was on the State House steps in Rhode Island organizing rallies and protests, helping find lobbyists, doing different, events, consumption events, trying to end the stigma of cannabis use. Because, I'm not a drinker. I haven't drank in 15 years. This is my 15th summer, no
Congrats.
alcohol.
All right.
Thank you.
And here I am trying to shove it
Got
down.
the
no
bottle
worries,
in
no
front of
worries.
me
I'm
and
out.
stuff.
Here,
No worries.
take this shot right now,
Bottle.
Bobby Nuggz.
My goal, I guess, is for social consumption to level up with alcohol, and I think cannabis is obviously much safer than alcohol. So, there's all these factors and just so many levels and branches off to this game. It's crazy to just try to keep up with. I can't keep up with it. So, I mean, people from the outside, it must be really interesting for you guys to see, maybe not knowing actually the inner workings, how everything kind of runs. Like, some of these growers electric bills are $200,000 a month. There's those. We were talking 300 grand a year to work at McDonald's. Imagine having an electric bill that's $300,000 a month and 40 staff you got to take care of.
One company out here that has a Genesis, they started the brand, and they said it is the backside of paying things like the utilities and stuff like that. That adds up. It adds up to a lot, B.
That's when branding and the branding is everything, especially in Rhode Island right now. You build your brand up, you'll have that community support, especially if the quality of your product matches the vibe that your brand's giving. There's a couple people in the state right now that are just, their weed is really fucking good, and their branding is par none. Shout out CMS Cap. A lot of these guys shop at Green, RI Finest Gardens, Loud. Those guys have an impeccable brand in Loud RI, and these are all brands that what I'm here for. RI Weed Wars that are actually competing in our competition. Big up. I want to make sure I came correct tonight. First of all, brought you guys a little gift.
Oh, thank you.
Gift for you guys.
Now, do you have your own strain?
I don't have my own strain, but that's been something that my homies have talked about over the years. I'm more of a humble dude. I'm not big on the self promotion too much, but maybe down the line that's in my cards, because I actually work very closely with a lot of breeders who are breeding these strains you guys are getting familiar with and smoking. You know what I mean? See, you got the edibles there. Those are vibations. They're from Mass. They kill it. Usually they mix them with like serotonin or melatonin, or some other things. You know what I mean?
So they're gonna put you to sleep?
Those might be the energy John.
Yeah, these are. I got the energy ones.
Yeah, you got the
so
energy
is this
John.
like the hydro light drink where you put this in water and then
No, those are gummies, I think.
Oh, it's
no, is that the
no, this is the
vibations?
drink,
Yeah, exactly.
yeah.
That's what that is.
Go ahead, eat
It's
some.
water soluble.
Go ahead.
Absolutely.
So you could put that in anything. You could put that in a margarita. You could put that in your wine right now, or you could just put it in your water, shake it up before you go and you pre-workout at the gym. You feel me?
Wait.
I can do the same with this?
Yeah, you got the vibations. Yeah, that's what they're all about.
So is it gonna give me like a crazy body?
No,
high?
they're very low THC.
I mean, there are directions and instructions
Yeah.
of what's gonna happen in
Yeah.
the back if you just take the time
Yeah.
to read.
You know what franchise can I throw this at your head?
Energizing
Yo, what's
cannabinoid.
good, Cap?
It says
amino
focus
acid
and
for
energy.
Focus. That's what I
Yes.
need right here. Go ahead, take some.
No, I don't want to.
And then we hooked you
Stop
guys
trying
up
to
with just a
peer
couple
pressure me.
pre-rolls. You know what I mean? Pre-rolls have taken over the entire market. I think
Yes.
in the entire country. They're so convenient. People love them. But it's also the #1 litter I see all over the state. Shout out.
If I see another raw tip anywhere on
I'm
the
saying
ground.
these dispensaries, I think we should do a conglomerate cleanup of Rhode Island. You know what I mean? And put your money where your mouth is. All that packaging you guys are spending your money on, let's
Yeah.
also be the ones to clean it up. You feel me?
Very true. Now let me ask you: when you're judging these weed wars, like, how does that work? Say you smoke the first blunt or the first strain or whatever,
Yeah.
and you're extremely super high.
Yep.
How is that a fair judgment of the next 95 things you have
Yep.
to test?
So how we work it is, right, we have 3 different categories we did for this year's RI Weed Wars. We had a indica, a sativa hybrid, and a pre-roll category. So if you're a producer or cultivator in Rhode Island, you can enter each one of those categories. Now, if you're a judge, our judges kits went on sale to the public through Solar Cannabis Co. Warwick. Shout out our main sponsor, Solar. Those retailed to 21 plus consumers starting the beginning of the month. Once you get your judges kit, you have approximately 30 days to
Okay.
finish your samples.
Okay, so you're not in the building
Yeah.
doing
So
it all
you're
in
not
that
doing
one
it right
day.
there.
I've
Okay.
done the gauntlet vibe. It's not, you have no fair assessment with
You
that.
can't.
Yeah.
I always wondered. So you're showing up with the results in hand.
Yeah.
Okay,
Okay,
You,
gotcha,
you basically have 30 days.
gotcha,
You log in
gotcha.
a QR code right on your phone. One by one, smoke each entry, which is cool because you could bring a couple samples of the judge's kit over to your homie's house who also likes weed. You could both sit there and really critique the shit.
Right.
And give your honest review. You can leave notes. First and foremost, RI Weed Wars is a research and marketing opportunity for Rhode Island cultivators to platform themselves and their brand and get their product directly in the consumer's hand, not just to be smoked, but to be judged, to be critiqued on. So it gives them like, where do I need to improve? How do I stack up and how do I level up against the other 30 to 50 or 60 cultivators that are in Rhode Island? So this is like a fun, competitive marketing opportunity that we've brought forth as a creative concept and marketing agency. We've done this in Massachusetts. We're about to launch now in New Jersey. And we just did New York City as well. Saw the PIFCon and the Roll Up Fest flyers on the wall. So, we're trying to do this statewide. Every state that's legal, we're going to be doing a Metric Cannabis Cup. Like I said, we're trying to branch off to Miami and, bring this concept to the cultivators, to bring it to the people, where everybody can work together and, really help these brands shine.
Now, let me ask you, what is your next step that you want to take?
My next step that I want to take,
as I judge your pre-roll right now, let's do it.
So I always take pride in the look ahead. That's what I call it. So I'm big on market trends and what's the future gonna be like. I'm born and raised from Rhode Island. I've never moved out of here. This is my home. But I think
what city?
I'm from Foster, Gloucester, baby. I'm from the boonies.
Let's say
I'm from the boonies.
I got questions.
Where
I
is
got
that?
questions.
Where is that?
How many people live out there?
Never
I
heard
got
of
questions.
Very, very few.
I've never met a person from Foster, Gloucester. It is nice to meet you.
Very nice to meet you.
Where is
I've never
Gloucester?
exactly. We
That's
know.
in,
hey, actually, none of us know where Foster, Gloucester actually is. Do it. You've been there once and made it back.
It's in the middle of nowhere, Rhode Island, northern Rhode Island. My family's actually owned a farm over there for over a century. My great grandmother was born on the property and shit. But it's a very small town. We're known for no school, Foster, Gloucester.
Yes,
we had the most
school?
snow days when I was a kid, But over there, you either grew weed, you dirt biked, or you're really fucking good at sports some way.
Really?
That was a three line.
Never
So
knew
it's
that about
inland.
Foster,
It's
Gloucester.
not by the water or anything. It's
No,
inland.
it's inland, very inland. It's almost on the border of Connecticut. So we had to drive 45, 50 minutes to get to the beaches. You know what I mean?
Jesus.
But I grew up in an area where guerrilla growing outside in northern Rhode Island was a big thing. All my uncles and my mom and my stepfather were both raided by the DEA and everything when I was a kid, and I was put in witness protection and DCYF for some real heavy shit that went on back in the day. Most of it concluded to cannabis, you feel me? But so I'm a product of my environment. My mom smokes, my stepdad, and like my entire family. So growing up, just seeing weed plants in the yard as like 8, 9, 10-year-old. Like,
Just playing them, just
I always knew what it
kicking them
was.
over,
Right,
picking them
right.
up, throwing them off.
I
What,
love that
man?
shit.
So it made sense for me. It made sense for me when I was 20 years old to jump into this because I paid attention to what was going on in California. Medical had just came in Rhode Island 2 years ago at that time in 06. So I was like, all right, well, this is something. How can I be a part of this movement that was growing? And at that same time, Kid Cudi was coming through. Meth and Red were just getting wicked big with Snoop on like the Mount Cushmore shoot they just did for High Times. So the culture was shifting when I first came into it. And I'm proud to say that from Rhode Island to the Bay to LA, I've met people and networked with some of the biggest, best, and brightest minds in the business. And I'm here trying to put my feet forward, 10 toes down in Rhode Island and New England to share that same community across the country. You feel me?
Do you ever want to own your own dispensary, your own?
No.
No.
No. I see what my colleagues go through dealing
not
with a
fun.
lot.
It's not fun, B. It's
I'm
not
more of a
fun.
culture person.
Okay.
I like events. I like music. I made my bones going to music festivals when I was younger, 5, 6 a season, just meeting people. I'm a people person, and I don't want to be behind in the grow anymore. I had those days of
What about
being locked in the
investing
grow.
into it?
Yeah, definitely like A through Z. Other than actually owning a dispensary, licensing deals or agreements down the line, I think is in my future. You know what I mean? And the possibilities that
Fam,
cannabis.
be a grower. Start your own strain and be a grower.
I grew
Have your
for
label out there in
years.
these
You know,
dispensaries. Drop
what
them a
happens?
pound
What
every
happens
2
with me
weeks.
growing is, I get too much in my hermit vibe, and I recluse because I just tend to the plants 24/7. And being a solo dude is not a lot of help. That can be difficult, but I still gotta grow right now. I still collect genetics. It's something that I'm always gonna be passionate
work?
about. I haven't worked an actual job in the last 15 years.
Congrats.
The real question is, do you ever pay for weed? Do you
I
have
know.
to?
Fam,
No.
you better not.
The community has bestowed and blessed me beyond belief. Like, you guys probably wouldn't even believe the stories. Actually, a few people in this room, I bet you fucking would believe some of the stories I would tell you. Every day of my life, I just try to remember where I'm at, what I'm doing, stay this course, and I'm blessed. Whatever comes from that, it's gonna come from that. I'm not in this for money. I'm not in this for clout. When I started, it was for community and for bringing a voice to the plant. So it's kind of still why I'm here and why I'm rocking this.
How about that?
Now, I know because you said you like music, so I'm pretty sure she's gonna ask you a hip hop question, and then I got a weed question for you. But first, before we get into that, we gotta get you super high. Go ahead and show us how we do this dab right here.
All right, bet.
Oh
so
my gosh.
this is another thing that I'm known for over here is
Do not burn this mic down.
Nah,
either.
we good.
Listen, don't
It's
burn my
It's a
hair,
cold
okay?
start dab. I ended up doing this friggin' tutorial, which I kind of hate. But I'm a well-rounded person. I take pride in doing a lot of different things.
Look at the work.
But now people know me as like this dude who did this tutorial that went viral. Like 15 million views I did on this video, teaching people how to dab.
Doing this right here?
Yeah.
Okay, which way you going so that way I can move the opposite
Yeah,
way?
I'll make sure I'll twist a little bit. So this is some my homie Dab Science Extractions. He kills it, smoking on a little BHO right now. So people make like multiple kinds of hash. Some of it is made with butane. Others is just made with like heat. This is a butane extraction. It's like a very scientific, dangerous, volatile chemical they use to make it.
Hey, I'm going to say that look like crack, okay?
It does. So that's always something I've tried to educate on too. You know what I mean? Is using the torch and everything is, there's a serious stigma surrounding it. And as someone who's been dabbing since 2011 and publicly on video and stuff like that, like I've always had a couple people like.
So that's it. Smoking a blunt don't do nothing for you no more. Am I right?
Bro, believe it or not, there's like I'll go maybe a month before I'll smoke a joint, and the high that I get from smoking weed now is incredible.
Really?
I get goofy like old school high, yeah. So that's the cold start. I just heated it for like 7 seconds.
Wow.
Tasty. Now I don't gotta smoke a whole blunt. I'm done.
You're done for the week.
I'm done.
You're done for the week.
You know? And then the ritual, you gotta Q-tip it. People are watching me right now, so I gotta make sure my etiquette's on point. You feel me? You gotta Q-tip it, and it's clean. And you go on to the next one. You share it.
Why you didn't throw the Q-tip? Why you put it back in there for?
I didn't want to put it on the table because it would get everything sticky.
Throw it away in the garbage.
Where's the garbage?
Over
I'll
there.
do it after.
Okay.
But yeah, that's how I dab. I'm a dabber, man. I love concentrates. Right now, rosin in Rhode Island's market. If you purchase a gram of rosin in Rhode Island's market, you're really gonna get what you pay for.
How much is a gram of rosin?
It ranges between $40 and $65 after tax. And as someone who's a true connoisseur, I mean, you can't beat the flavor, you can't beat the convenience, the price too. Because I mean, a gram of rosin would equal about an eighth for me, and I'm gonna smoke 7-8 blunts.
A gram of rosin is an eighth
About
of bud for you.
About an eighth for me. I'd say that's the equivalent right there, and would
This
last
nigga's
me
like,
the same time.
Yo, everybody's in here patting their wallets like, wait, huh?
Oh wait, I'm over here.
Well,
trying
how
to,
long does that gram last you?
It would last me about 3 days.
Okay.
And an eighth lasts me about maybe a day or two.
Okay.
You know,
Because
because I roll fatties up if I'm smoking flower, you know. So that's also why I'm a true believer in the concentrates. Is just it's the quicker consumption is just so much better overall. And I'm also an asthmatic. I run. I try to stay in shape, but I'm an asthmatic. So smoking all those blunts and flowers, I haven't smoked blunts since 2008, and I was smoking 15 a day.
And it
So-
doesn't leave that big film.
No, none of that. It's gone, and you can't really even smell it.
No, I
so
don't
I could
smell
take a dab
nothing.
out in public. Tons of people around me. Granted, it's a torch, but they have electric rigs now.
This guy right
You
here.
can just press a button twice, you know.
I don't know, man. I
Yeah,
think
that's
I'd know
it.
this if you had a torch. And you, I think I would know.
No, he said they have electric rigs now.
They
You
do.
can just.
Yeah, it's like the iPhone. It's called the Puffco. They also got the Carta. Press a button twice. It's electric. There's no torch or nothing. You just rip it, and they're smart. So you can attach it to like sync it to your phone, and it can count how many dabs you take. You can play music
Sync
on
it to
them.
your
wow.
phone.
No, they're crazy, bro. Just the
And
electric.
the Get High playlist.
Exactly.
Wow.
Wow.
You know what I mean?
Okay,
The
well-
future. Future.
Speaking of Get
Playlist.
High playlist,
Yes.
Go ahead. She's gonna ask
I
you one,
need
then I'm
to
gonna
know.
ask you one. Go ahead.
who your top 5 artists are
My top 5 artists. Damn.
Of all time.
all time? And I'm just
Okay.
gonna put out there, Biggie, Pac, Big L, Biggie, Pac, Big L,
Big Pun,
Big
DMX.
Pun, and DMX do not count.
Okay. All right. Well, let me. So since L ain't on there, I gotta toss in Gangstar.
Okay.
I mean,
Do it,
All
baby.
right.
he kind
Ooh.
of brought me into a wave of music that I wasn't introduced to when I was younger, skateboarder. You know what I mean? And I would love the hip hop vibe. Gangstar, rest in peace. I'd also say AZ. I think is one of the most fluent
Wow.
rappers like in the game. Period.
And
I don't
underrated.
think
And,
any.
bro,
yes.
come on.
And underrated.
No
Why,
one's ever
though?
said AZ up here.
Man,
ever.
Let's throw on some AZ. That boy can spit, and just the beats he has. Like
Yes.
I love Nas and the Firm, bro. Oh my
Okay.
god. And this is like a summer. This is a
Follow
summer
Brandon,
one.
you
need.
You
Yeah.
know?
All right, my
That's
bad.
2. Who's up next? Let me see. I think Rakim. Rakim's gonna be on there
I'll
for
give you
me.
that.
Okay.
Number 4. Did you say DMX?
I did
Yeah,
say
you
Damn.
can't put X up there. He's
Rest in-
already up
rest
there.
in peace.
He's already up there.
I mean, Wheezy was so dope.
have
That
that. You
that
can
era
have that.
for me, 07, and that time frame of like Dipset and Lil Wayne was like ecstasy. I was in this time frame. So when I hear his music, it brings me back.
Well, you had no choice. There was 100 songs on the top 100
saying.
Billboard. He was on all 100 of them. There was there was no getting away from it.
Then
one more, and I'm gonna ask you who your top 5 groups are since you mentioned the
my
group.
next one would probably be, I gotta give it up for 50, man.
Okay.
I'll give you that.
All right.
I gotta give it up for 50.
You had a solid 5. You had a
That's
solid 5.
right? Can you give me 5 groups?
5 groups.
Naughty by Nature.
No, obviously Naughty by Nature. I mean,
Yo, they owe me something.
you gotta give it up.
Yo,
to
they
BC,
owe me
you
something.
gotta give it up to BC Boys and Run DMC.
Okay.
So that's 2
Oh,
right there.
That's 3 right there.
Those boys
3.
laid some foundation work. I can't. You gotta have Wu-Tang on there. I mean,
Yes,
come
you
on.
definitely do.
And those guys are all got their own strains now. Tikal is fire, and it's gonna be on dispensary shelves soon in RI.
Yeah.
That's 3. 2 more. Let me see here.
Actually, no, you got 4. You had
Digging in the Crates crew. I mean, Big L, Mace,
Fat Joe.
McGruff, all those guys, like Harlem World, like all that, like
Showbiz, yes.
I loved it.
Boy.
Them with lyricists, like they could really spit. Nas too, he wasn't no group, but all those real lyricists I really like. Number 5, who else? You guys are getting me right now. Let me think. I don't know. Gravediggers, yo. For real.
Grave
Okay.
Diggers.
Okay.
Yeah. Gravediggers. There's another Wu-Tang kind of Shaheed Wu-Tang like offbeat, but yeah, I think that would be my top 5 groups right now. You know?
All right, here's my last question for you.
Shoot it, bro.
Of all the entertainment and all the people we see on TV and all the places you've been and all the traveling you've been, I'm talking celebrities that we would know.
Yeah.
Name your top 5 smokers.
Shit. I gotta shout out my boy Action Bronson, bro. No one's comparing.
He
to
smokes
homie.
like that?
Bro, come on. Yo, shout out Bam Bam. That motherfucker is like one of the nicest people I've ever chilled with in my entire life. I rolled up to the W in Boston. He had a security come down. I like get up to his room, yo. 6 carts of room service roll in. He's like, yo, you want some sliders, Bob? I'm like, yeah, bro, you want some sliders? He got 8 dab rigs out. He's a dabber first and foremost. Bam Bam don't even be smoking flower like that. Don't let anybody fool you. He's a strictly concentrate smoker. He was like the first person to dab on television, for real. And he was the, in my opinion, like the poster child of dabs and concentrates, because Wiz,
He's in there?
he's up there too, but Bam Bam really, like, he got the Fuck That's Delicious on Viceland. And Viceland was that, like,
I seen it.
that mainstream
Yep,
threshold where we crossed, and now this is big, you know? And then,
All right, so we got Action Bronson. Go ahead. 4 more.
what was the question again? I'm high enough.
This
Your
guy
top,
here, man.
Your top 5.
Your top 5 mainstream smokers that
Yeah.
we've seen in the entertainment
Bam
world.
Bam and Wiz, man.
Wiz Khalifa, okay, too.
I don't even want to say Meth Red and Snoop. It's not fair, yo. Like,
Because there's somebody from the West that I hear a
there
lot.
he is.
that-
My boy Demrick be fucking slaying, bro. Spit it.
this?
Bro, come on. I got to put you on a Demrick. He signed a B-Real's record label for Cypress Hill.
So you're close already
Okay.
to who I'm thinking is the number 1
Yeah.
smoker. You're close.
Who is it?
Demrick
Franchise?
on there. I think Spit Andretti too. And then Dizzy Wright, I think would
Is he right? I've heard his
that's
be
my
real.
5.
I've heard his be real.
It is
Okay.
I've heard he's the.
He-
I heard he
Bro,
outsmokes
so
everybody.
that Mount Cushmore shoot, that's Method Man, Redman, Snoop, and Be Real. You can't even mention them. That's like founding fathers. And shit.
Okay.
It's
yeah,
like mentioning
okay,
Ben
yeah.
Franklin.
So
and
you got a
Snoop.
different. That's his own word. That's the
Yeah.
cannabis world. So those 4 don't
Yeah.
count. Okay,
Yeah, you feel me?
gotcha.
Man, those guys have just done so much to bring cannabis in the mainstream light. Without hip hop, period, cannabis would not be where it's at right now. None of these people who are making bank off this and own these legal brands would even have a clue. Shout out to all the people in the social equity game, all the people still locked up for weed right now. You know, people out here trying to get their records expunged, because that's like something super important we haven't even touched on. Like, I'm really about the activism thing right now. My next event I'm rocking with is in New Jersey. I'm programming 40 seminars throughout the weekend of 3 days to educate the community about expungement, about activism. We're actually gonna have a couple panels about legacy stories, so we can hear, you know, from people who got arrested for weed, what it was like to get incarcerated, how navigate the system after they got out as a felon. Like, these are all things we never get to hear about, which is now one of the main ways you can even own a cannabis business in New England is to own a social equity license, which Rhode Island was. We didn't have that. In Massachusetts now, if you were Asian, Black, Latino, and you were arrested for weed, or a veteran, you have first dibs at licenses on grants. Major grants. And one of my friends just got a $50,000 grant just last week, which just helped him pay for like his entire lighting for his grow. So I mean, there's some real shit happening here. It's just not all smoking, and it's cool to see you know, the education continue on, brother. And that's just what I'm about, man.
Family, pleasure having you up here.
Definitely, Tom.
Glad I got to learn some things from you today.
yeah.
Glad
Thank
you
you.
got me high. Glad to see you get high. Best way to find you.
So
All your
best way to
socials.
find me, I'm on Instagram, Bobby Nuggz, NUGGZ_official. That's my main page. There's been a lot of fake pages being made about me recently. People stealing my images, trying to sell weed online. And if you want my real page, it's _official on Instagram. I'm also on LinkedIn. You can also find all of my affiliate events that I'm working on from now until the end of the year. Big ups 420 Expo. This weekend, RI Weed Wars. Sunday, we're crowning the winners of our competition. Over 30 competitors in the competition. So that's what I'm doing, where I'm at. Anything that I'm doing, I'm posting on social media. You guys can come find me. I'll help open doors for you. I'll also provide opportunity. I'm looking to mentor a couple people in the community. If you're younger and you're looking to get in the industry, I'm your guy. Let's make some shit happen. What I got is yours, so big up to everybody in the community.
Stop looking at your phone and look at the camera.
We had people, bro, the amount of people that are messaging my live right now is insane.
Turn the phone to me so I can say hi to them.
Yo, say hi to everybody.
What's going on, world?
Yeah.
All right, last thing.
Yeah.
Look into this camera.
Yes.
And tell that one special person in your life that you love them and you're headed home.
Hey, Bailey Nuggz, my wife, you're the best thing that has ever happened to me. In 30 days from yesterday, we got our 6-year anniversary.
Let's go, baby.
Behind every great man is even better woman. Thank you, WPRU, franchise, everybody for having me tonight. Love y'all. It was an honor.
Anytime.
Follow back.
Ladies
already
and
know.
gentlemen, the one, the only Bobby Nuggz here.
Woo! Bless up, everybody.